This is the Big Daddy Football Corner. Welcome, bafethu. Manene Ncikazi. Igama lami nguSimanga Makhubu, abanye bathi ngu-Big Daddy, and welcome to my YouTube channel, bafethu. Uniyazi ukuthi mangila, it's because Orlando Pirates have played. You know, let us look at Orlando Pirates match that was played at Peter Mokaba Stadium. Orlando Pirates versus SuperSport. Orlando Pirates coming out as victorious into that match. Nkota, Mohau Nkota scoring that solitary goal. Congratulations to Ncikazi, you know, for winning this particular match. His second match as being the taker coach at Orlando Pirates. Meaning Mizango se, use. Mandla Ncikazi. And then a debut for Lokuzana, Siyabonga Dladla, the third choice at Orlando Pirates. Very happy to see him starting a match. You know, I wanted to see as to how far he is from being able to actually deputize for Lokuzana, Usiposhayine as the first choice. The other changes that was noticeable was Umbata coming back. Obviously, Rele is suspended for this match. Ncikazi opting to play with 4 central midfielders in midfield. That I think there was the changes. Right in the okay, let's get into it, Buffett. Right in the first half, I noticed very first, you know, 2, 3, 5 minutes, SuperSport 4-4-2 mid-block press, where they did not necessarily commit Orlando Pirates to try and push them high. They opted for a mid-block. But there's one thing that I noticed with Orlando Pirates. I think Orlando Pirates have gone better into ensuring that we win the second balls. And I think SuperSport is a club that actually likes to play the route one and playing from the second phase, or winning the first ball and then playing from the second phase. And I think Orlando Pirates dealt that very, very well. With Nkota, in the first half, I noticed was deployed more on the left-hand side. Coach Picasso on the TDB show, he has explained that as soon as you have a coach that plays a left-footed player on the right and a right-footed player on the left, is already to show that he does not want to play crosses inside the box. And when I saw Ncikazi putting Nkota on the left, for me it was to say, okay, cool, I want to play crosses inside the box. You know, obviously, with Tito, you know, on the right hand side, playing more as a double 10 with Dlamini and Ushando providing width on the right hand side. So that was just an interesting twist that we've seen even before, right? Orlando Pirates also continued with their patient build-ups, where I've mentioned in my previous video, you know, the previous game that we played at TS Galaxy, that Ncikazi has opted that he wants to play through the press. He doesn't look to bait and play the long balls. I think we've since Ncikazi took over, we've stopped a bit playing those long balls that people were, you know, at times on Twitter, you know, they were mad about it, right? But I just felt that the very first 20 minutes when I watched the match was very cold, guys. We played a very slow tempo. It was pedestrian pace. There was zero intensity. There was no chances created. You know, just balls played in between the three middle zones. You know, it was actually both teams that actually doing so. Both Orlando Pirates and SuperSport. No box entries. Not much action in the definite zone. You know, which is zone D. You know, I was like, does SuperSport really is in relegation zone? Because I did not see the zeal and will to actually go and play. I understand with Orlando Pirates that obviously they're already gonna finish second, whether they lose or win every match. But I still want them to show and respect the badge and also closing the gap. You know, between Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, right? Before the first half ended, you know, Orlando Pirates showed the same weakness that they actually made or that's actually they actually showed and made them to lose the Nedbank Cup final against Kaizer Chiefs, because they've got this thing of inability to defend the red zone. I think towards the end of the first half, again, that red zone, it showed there was a header from SuperSport as well towards the end of the match as well. Again, in that same into that same zone that Kaizer Chiefs dominated them, in that Nedbank Cup final. My boy was unmarked in front of the defense, almost punished, in that particular instance, right? Then it got me thinking, guys, to say, whereas in Europe, we have seen technically superior players, playing at times even the double pivot. They will play with technically superior players. Barcelona is a good example. Xavi, Iniesta combo, and now Barcelona is going for Pedro Gabi combo in midfield. And I looked at that and I was like, I really don't think South Africa is really ready or can afford to play without the natural destroyer. Because when Orlando Pirates doesn't have Makaula, who's the typical old-fashioned destroyer, we tend not to be able to defend, especially the key areas, which is the red zone. And in this particular instance, that's why Sundowns, you will always see them whenever they are playing Allende, Jaden Adams, they will always have a Mukwena, behind them, and Obas behind them, because I don't think South Africa has much of those central midfielders who have got that profile, to be superior in defending space. We've got more central midfielders who are superior in defending the player, not necessarily defending space. So I really don't know, because I would like to hear what you think about that, right? And then Orlando Pirates, for me, in the first half, I just felt that they were playing too deep, man, for my liking. They were not coming out too quickly, out of that mid-block press from SuperSport. Even in attack, they were very slow. Man, the game on the eye was very slow. Both teams that did not show desire to come out and play. There was a time when Orlando Pirates got a corner, and that corner almost went back to the goalkeeper as a pass. And I was like, no, man, Orlando Pirates doesn't have desire, to actually go forward. But second half, a very improved second half. I think Mandla Ncikazi must have said something, to the players in the second half. I even jokingly said on Twitter, he might have, kicked, the chairs and doors, to those players, because when they came out in the second half, it was a much better game. The speed of the game increased. The speed of the pass was better. The intensity and the tempo went up. The desire and intention to get a goal was clear from Orlando Pirates. It's important as well for players basically in the PSL to understand that fans, they pay their hard-earned money, they take their time, they leave their families, for that particular period, and they go to the stadium to watch games. They really deserve respect, from the players, that they deserve far better than what was done in the first half, where it was just relaxing, as if it's a training session. But second half, brilliant goal from Nkota. It was the result of all the changes that I've mentioned. The attitude from the players changed. It also changed the complexion of the game. Beautiful pass, beautiful assist from a special player, Karim Kimvood. People that are on Twitter, they know how much I've been raving about him, even when he was not playing. For me, at this point, on current form, I honestly think Karim Kimvood deserves to start ahead of Udlamini, even ahead of Utito. I really don't know what else this boy needs to do and for him to start games, because for the past 3-4 games, he has showed that he has raised his hand and say, I want to play. And can please, Mandla Ncikazi, reward the players that show the desire and willing to play, right? The referee blows his final whistle, right? The goalkeeper coach, Tyrone Demons, just ran to the goalkeeper, Usiyabonga Ndladla, to congratulate him, for a clean sheet. It was a beautiful sight to see. Congratulations to Ndladla for making his debut for Orlando Pirates, his first clean sheet, as well. Also, it was his birthday as well. Happy birthday, boy, in this particular match. But for me, what stood out, from debut Kasia Ndladla is how calm and how composed he is on the ball. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. when under pressure. You know, he's very, very relaxed, you know, on the ball. Very, very comfortable ball playing goalkeeper. His footwork is clean. It is sweet. He's able to play with both feet. I love what I've seen so far, but I would love to see more. Mapakania, if there's anything that you think about I've missed in this particular video, please comment on it. Let's talk about it. Ayeye Mapakania, ayeye.